Good afternoon, guys, and happy what's today, Tuesday, 12 or sunshiny faces, guys. I felt like it was like Thursday or something already. Actually, pardon me, guys, I need to go turn off my nighttime alarm. It's trying to tell me I need to get to bed. Anyways, guys, so today I realized I should have done this earlier probably while it was still light out. So I won't take you guys into the backyard because what we actually got done in the backyard I need light for, and our motion sensor light won't actually be able to show you guys because it doesn't go back that far. But today, guys, we babysat, which was actually I found out last night, literally when I was actually in bed. I checked my Instagram, and I always want to call her my babysitter because she used to babysit for me. Now I'm babysitting for her son. She had messaged me and said that her mom didn't have to work today, and that she was going to do like we did on Friday and just have her mom drop him off at like 11 o'clock or something like that, I think is when she dropped him off. And so I was like, okay. So she's like, you know, you guys can sleep in, and you know, like that her son would then be able to sleep in too, because like, you know, it's early for him to get up, like, you know, again, that early also. And you know, it's like, I don't even know if honestly, like, he probably gets up at like 7 o'clock or like 6:45 or something like that. Like, I'm pretty sure that's even earlier than, I know it's earlier for sure than any of the elementary schools. Like, that's kind of early for like, even like, that was I think the time I'd get up for high school, like, and I think for middle school maybe I got up at like maybe around that time or something like that. I think the elementary school starts at like 8:45 or something like that. So like, I think when I was in elementary school, like, got up at like 8 o'clock maybe or something, you know, like I didn't get up like, you know, super early. So I think honestly, even for him, like getting up, even though it's just to come over here and it's not like he's coming and doing schoolwork and stuff like that, but it's still early for like a little kid, you know, that's again in elementary school and could almost, I mean, he's like going into 2nd grade, but like still like at that age I'd be taking naps, like, you know, if I was up that early. I'm sure it's helpful for her too that he sleeps in a little bit so that he isn't like, you know, either falling asleep or like, you know, going to bed like super early, like 6 o'clock and stuff like that. Because like I said, if I was that age, I honestly think like I'd probably wind up taking a nap if I had to get up that early. I still want to take naps when I have to get up at like, you know, 6 o'clock in the morning. 6:30, 6:45 would be like crazy. I don't think he's up at like 6 o'clock, but anyways, guys, like I was saying, so it was a little bit nice. I slept in until like maybe about 8:30 or something like that, which was again kind of a little refreshing. I still wanted to be up early so that I could, like, you know, I didn't want to sleep until like 10 o'clock and that, you know, like not do anything or get up or, you know, anything like that, and then be thrown off like really bad for like tomorrow, which yeah, tomorrow, you know, or like being really not tired enough to like go to bed early tonight and then wind up like not waking up early because I didn't like sleep well. Or, you know, I got too much sleep, or, you know, something like that, or I wasn't tired and I needed to get more sleep, or anyways though. So like I said, it was pretty nice today. Gotta get a little bit of sleep. The only thing is like I said, she'd messaged me like probably around the time I was going to bed anyway, or like maybe around like 10 or 11 o'clock or something like that, like I was again getting ready for bed. And I never told Jack that he didn't have to be up, because I was like, oh, okay, that's great, like, you know, and I'm like in bed already, kind of like falling asleep, and I messaged her back and said, I was like, okay, that's great, you know, like the same time as like, you know, Friday and everything like that. And I was like, okay, like I'll see him at, you know, 11 o'clock. And like I said, I never ended up telling Jack. So Jack came in my room at like 6:45 or 7 o'clock or something like that, and he's like, Kayla, come on, you gotta get up, like, you know, it's he's gonna be here soon. And I was like, oh yeah, I forgot to tell you. So he was still up, and he stayed awake I think since 7 o'clock pretty much. Like I said, I ended up sleeping for maybe like another hour after he woke me up, and then actually got up. But yeah, so then this morning, like right after he ended up getting here, because when I got up I had breakfast, I, you know, took care of everything I needed to in the morning and stuff like that. Like he ate, and him and Jack like watched a movie and stuff like that. They were finishing Tarzan, which is like, honestly guys, I feel like it's so nice because now like I can watch all the Disney movies now and not feel like so guilty, like I don't know, like watching those and being like, this is a waste of my time, why am I watching this? But like I still want to see them, you know. Like we watched Coco the other day, which is such a good movie, guys. Seriously, I loved it. But if he wasn't over, I probably would have never put it on, you know, or felt like, again, guilty for being like, why am I watching like a, you know, a kid's movie or something like that, when like I could be doing something productive or something like that with my time. But I was like, no, I'm babysitting, so I'm doing something productive. I can sit here and watch this movie. Like I said, you know, it's not like I would put it on probably if it was just like me by myself, but since, like I said, we were babysitting, I watched that. And we watched something else. Oh, the new Wreck-It Ralph movie, which we saw the first one, and I honestly probably would have ended up watching that maybe by myself, or not by myself, but like if Jack wanted to watch it or something like that, because I felt like that movie even too was a little bit more to like there was more adult humor, not humor, but like, you know, it's very relevant. So like when you see like all the stuff about the internet and stuff like that, and like video games, like I felt like that was very relevant, so to me that was more entertaining. But like I said, like I still love watching Disney movies. It's just some of the newer ones I don't think I would have watched if like I didn't have an excuse or a reason to actually watch them. So anyways, that's my excuse now, is that I'm babysitting, so that's fine. But anyways though, so while he was doing that, I actually cleaned the bathroom, which I have it literally down to a science now, guys, where I think the first time I cleaned the bathroom, like when I was first kind of doing this whole, you know, doing the cleaning thing for my parents instead of having them pay to have a cleaning service, when I first started doing it, the first time I cleaned the bathroom, and maybe even the second time too, I seriously think it ended up taking me like 2 to maybe almost 3 hours. Like the first time, I have it down to a science where it's only taking me about an hour, maybe 2 hours, and that's for like, again, I clean the shower every single week, I clean the toilets, clean the sink, dust, you know, I also clean the hallway and the stairs in that same amount of time too, so the stairs are all cleaned and swept and stuff like that as well. But then I also, not mop, but I use that the sanitizing mop as well. So I like clean everything off the floor, I dust, which honestly guys, if we didn't have so many like knickknacks in the bathroom, which I'm sure I've showed you guys the bathroom before, but if we didn't have so many knickknacks in there, I think it'd honestly maybe take me about like 45 minutes at most to clean the bathroom. But because I have to spend most of my time is actually on dusting that and cleaning the shower, only because I now again have it down to a little bit of a better science of doing it. But the longest and hardest part is actually rinsing the shower of whatever I was like cleaning with, because normally I wind up using my homemade like cleaner, but I rinse it off afterwards. And so I like, the hardest part is rinsing the what's it called, like the tile down after I've cleaned it. So like I said, that's probably the longest part, next to dusting, as well as also difficult. But tomorrow I'm going to do the kitchen, and then on Thursdays I do the living room, which I didn't do the living room last week because 4th of July was on Thursday. So like I said, I'm gonna probably have a little bit more to clean up just because I didn't do it on last Thursday, because then I was like, well, I'll do it on Friday. But then Friday I was babysitting too, and since we normally spend most of our time in the living room anyway, I was like, I don't know how this is gonna work, like asking him to, like, you know, I normally wind up like moving all the furniture out and stuff like that, so like to be like, okay guys, like move to this side of the living room while I pull all the couches out to sweep behind here, and then I'm gonna push them all back and now you guys can move back there. Like, yeah, I didn't know how that was gonna work. And then it just kind of didn't happen over the weekend because like we had other 4th of July things and stuff like that going on. So yeah, I didn't get to that this week, but I did do the kitchen and bathroom last week, so they weren't as difficult either. It might be a little bit more, I'm not thinking like really that much, but I don't babysit on Thursday, so even if it takes longer, it's not that big of a deal. But then guys, I also ended up actually, I did a tiny little bit of yard work outside. My dad actually laid the pea gravel in inside of the greenhouse. If you guys went back and watched like a few days ago's vlogs, or like maybe a few weeks ago, when we put the greenhouse back behind the garage, and then we bought pea gravel over this weekend maybe, and then my dad picked up, like, I think we picked up 5 bags over the weekend. My dad bought another 5 bags yesterday, so we had 10 bags, and we just about covered the inside of the greenhouse. We're probably gonna need like maybe 40 to 50 bags in total, is like kind of my guess, and how much it's gonna take to cover that whole area. But we are going to do railroad ties along the fence line, and also like to fence in where the pea gravel is, so that it doesn't like spill out through the fence into our neighbor's yard, or also into the rest of our yard where our grass is. So like I said, to kind of work that whole thing out, we are gonna do that, but we kind of have to wait until my dad has all the material to do it with first. And then we can spread more of it. So we just tried to see how it'd look inside of the greenhouse, and kind of how it, you know, felt and stuff like that, I guess, so that it wasn't super, like, you know, my mom was like, oh, it's gonna be super rocky and stuff like that, and that's not how I want it. And so when my dad laid the first bag, and my mom's like, oh, this isn't that bad, like, I don't really know what she was thinking, but she was like, oh, I don't think we should do that, we should do like pavers inside of the thing. But they're like completely like sturdy, like you're not like slipping around, and it's not like all gravelly and super rocky and stuff like that where you're like losing your footing. So I think once she saw it in there, it looked really cool. Actually, I like it, but like I said, there's no lighting back there at all, so you guys probably wouldn't be able to see it real well. I also don't feel like going outside in the dark at 10 o'clock at night. So anyways though, guys, I also ended up actually putting, I think I was telling you guys, we had one mum that was in the backyard that came back, and then I found when I was gardening or weeding yesterday in the back flower bed, there was another little one that was coming up, and I wanted to actually get some mums to put in this, it's actually, my mom said, my great-grandfather's fishing bucket, and I thought it just was so cool. It was so cute and like rustic and stuff like that, and I was like, why don't we use it as like a pot, you know, a pot kind of thing for a mum, because I just thought, like, you know, fall color in there and stuff like that, and this is gonna look so pretty. So we actually had a hanging basket that didn't have the hook anymore, that actually fit perfectly inside of there, so that it can still drain, but that it won't be ruined from like the dirt and stuff like that, but it will still drain out into the bucket. So anyways, guys, like I was saying, long story, but I did find that, and I dug up the little mum that was in there and planted it. I also too, we got 4, 5 maybe, a package, or like, you know, a little bundle of green onions, and I was regrowing them in the windowsill, like just in water. And then once they had like some pretty good roots, I planted them in the garden as well, in the same garden that we did the zucchini yesterday. That, and then I also finished digging up, there was a few other tulips that were still out in the yard, and some hyacinths, I think they're called, and some other bulb my mom thinks is crocuses, but I'm not totally sure that they are, because I don't remember seeing them. But I dug those all up, and then actually put those in a pot as well outside, just so that they're covered, so that, like, my mom's like, well, I don't know, because I've never dug up like bulbs before in the middle of summer. And I was like, okay, well, we're waiting till we have the back flower bed where we're gonna put our not hibiscus, what is it, our lilac bush. We're gonna put like all of those together, because what we had when we realized this year was we had like 2 random tulips growing in one bed, another tulip randomly growing in another bed. We had a squirrel that moved one of the tulips into our old vegetable garden. We had like random, like another 2 in another flower bed. We had actually the hyacinths were growing out of the flower bed because we had moved the bed in further, so they were randomly just growing in the middle of the lawn, and so I had to dig those ones up. So we dug them all up, and I put them in a pot just so that we can wait to use them, and I'm gonna plant them, like I said, probably in like a bunch in the backyard in the when we do the back flower bed. So that is what I did. That is the bucket, and then also to that down there in the bottom, that little like orange terracotta pot is what I planted the bulbs in just for now. And then that other like rusticy looking, those little like plate kind of things, which I'm going to close the door, guys, because I think there's bugs coming in. The one next to the big fishing bucket that has the hydrangea in there, or I'm sorry, that has the mama in there, those little like pails next to it, the shallow one. Not tomorrow, but I think on Friday we're going to go to a like a greenhouse. We went to it last year, and we're going to go, I think, ow, I just ran into a chair. I think we're gonna go next, we're gonna go maybe on Thursday. I think we're gonna go on Friday now, and take the little boy we babysit for with as well, because he's really actually into plants, and his grandma is like also like, she really loves plants, and so I know she talks to him like a lot about him, because when she dropped him off on Friday we were like talking about gardens and stuff like that. And so and he was like helped plant the zucchini, and like he's really into like, you know, seeing the gardens and the vegetables and stuff like that. So I thought it'd be a fun little like outing field trip kind of thing to go to this. It's like a greenhouse, and they also are like a co-op farmers market kind of thing. We went last year, I think I was telling you guys about it, but I really liked it. They had some really unique plants, and they had like water plants that like you don't always see at like, you know, just like Walmart and stuff like that, and you know, other like cool plants. They had a lot of succulents. So what I want to do in those is get some, I want to try and find or buy like a small bag of like the succulents, like dirt, because it's, you know, or like sand, the rocky pebble stuff that's supposed to be very like, you know, dry, more like deserty kind of, you know, like dirt, I guess, than like normal like potting soil. So I want to try and see if they have some of that, and also maybe I was thinking like 5 little succulents to go in there and do it kind of like a layered tier kind of thing. I was thinking that would look really cute, but I was thinking that we could go and do that on, what's it called, on Friday. And like I said, kind of do like a little fun little outing thing. But I like it because we can bring that in the winter, you know, once it's cold outside, and the succulents can be inside plants, but we can leave them out during the summer and stuff like that. Because one of my succulents that you guys might have saw outside, one of them looks like it's kind of dead, the other one's still kind of alive. I kept it inside as a house plant over the winter, and it made it up until like spring, and then spring one of them just really started to look really bad, like it was dying. I don't really know what happened to it. I think I'm a little bit better with like paying attention to plants more than I was before. It's just my room is not a good place to have them because it's not really good sunlight. Like it needs to be like in the kitchen or the living room or something like that. So like I said, that's kind of what my plan is for that. And I think I'm a little bit more like, I don't think last year I would have been like, yeah, let's do it. I think I've learned from my mistakes a little bit, and am learning a little bit more, even to like doing research and stuff like that about like what's the best way to like keep this plant. I'm a little bit more aware too, and like this year I feel like I've upgraded my knowledge a little bit of just like all kinds of plants, and succulents are one thing that I haven't really gotten into, and they're supposed to be the easiest to take care of. Although the 3 that I've had, at least I killed one for sure. The second one looks like it's on its last leg, and the third one's doing pretty well still, but it's not really like a succulent. It's like, I don't know, it's kind of like a house plant kind of thing, but it does well in sun. I don't really know what it was. But yeah, so like I said, guys, I really need to get to bed, so we'll see you guys all in tomorrow's vlog. If you guys did enjoy today's, make sure you guys give a big old thumbs up. If you guys are new, we'd love if you'd subscribe, and I'll see all of your sunshiny faces tomorrow. So bye, guys.